Have you ever felt like everyone around you is just a little too nice and it's suspicious? Maybe you've been having negative thoughts a little too much that it affects your entire life. My name is Fuegio, and I struggle with CPTSD. I'm also a mental health advocate and an anime lover, and one of my new favorite anime is Windbreaker. Now that season 2 has been released, hooray! I'll be celebrating it through this video. Together, we will dive deep into the world of Windbreaker and take on the challenge of uncovering the shocking truths about CPTSD that this anime reveals. We will be focusing on Sakura Haruka in this video. Trigger warning. Spoiler alert, this video contains spoilers for Windbreaker. If you haven't caught up and want to experience the story firsthand, consider watching it or reading it before continuing. You have been warned. CPTSD and PTSD. What's the difference? Complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or CPTSD, is a mental health disorder caused by long-term or chronic trauma, such as prolonged child abuse, domestic violence, and more. In Sakura's case, this was a form of child abuse, mostly noted as emotional and verbal abuse as shown in the anime. PTSD, on the other hand, was known by experts to have been caused by a single or short-term traumatic event, such as a vehicle accident, natural disaster, and more. However, later on, CPTSD was more known to have additional symptoms of PTSD symptoms. For example, CPTSD symptoms, aside from having symptoms of behavioral and psychological stress responses, also have additional symptoms like having difficulty with emotional regulation, identity, and sense of self, and forming relationships. With that, let's begin. 1. When identity feels like a lie. Have you ever felt like your perception of your identity is a lie? Let me give you an example. Sakura is a great fighter. This was why he moved to a new town to start attending the school Furin High, or Bofurin as the locals call it. According to Sakura, Bofurin has had the greatest fighters despite having the lowest grades, and Sakura wanted to be the top dog of Furin High. But here's when his identity feels like a lie. Sakura felt like he was the best, specifically in fighting, and he wanted to prove it. He also wanted to prove that he could be the best fighter without anyone else's help. But this was because he wanted to feel something. He wanted to feel strong. He wanted to feel like he was worth something. Because of how he was treated in his old town, facing all the trauma, abuse, and bullying, he felt like he was worth nothing. That's how the actions of the people in his old town affected him. This is why he turned to physical fights. He felt like he was good at something, therefore, feeling worth. This was his coping mechanism and outlet for all the trauma he's experienced. All of these displayed the distortion of his identity and sense of self. But remember, it's important to note that external things do not and should not equate to your value, because true value comes from within. Later on in the series, Sakura realizes this when he meets the current top dog of Furin High, Umemiya Hajime. My favorite character, by the way. 2. The battle to control emotions. Do you often feel like you struggle with controlling your emotions? Sakura struggles with this as well. There were moments in the series when Sakura was feeling embarrassed. But instead of acknowledging this, he displayed anger and aggressiveness. some situations didn't even call for such reactivity. These situations were portrayed jokingly even. A lot of times, even in moments of fun, he had difficulty processing what he was feeling, only to manifest these feelings through anger. Aside from these moments, he tends to become emotionally reactive to negative stimuli. He has difficulty regulating his emotions during his battles and fights because of his core principle. Stop believing you're strong when you're weak. This core principle is directed at those he fights. To him, these people have negative traits. These fighters feel like they are the best, but they use their physical strength to abuse others, which makes them weak in Sakura's eyes. Understanding his principle shows that those who have negative traits tend to be a negative stimuli for him, thus making him react with aggressiveness or anger. 3. Why connection feels impossible. The people in the new town where Bofurin is located were very kind, loving, and caring towards Sakura from the get-go. But Sakura felt very suspicious. Despite this treatment, Sakura was afraid, cautious, and closed off. He always saw everyone as a potential threat to him. Because of this, he had difficulty forming new meaningful connections and relationships with the people in this new town. But this wasn't his fault. This was all because of the prolonged trauma, bullying, and abuse he had experienced. 4. Drowning in negativity. Sakura has frequented negative thoughts and emotions. The most common emotions are anger, hurt, fear, and confusion. Negative thoughts and mood were also seen after the fight between Lion's Head and Bofurin. During this time, Sakura was confused and even a bit angry with Umemiya's decision towards Choji and Togame. However, when Umemiya pinned the decision further to Sakura, Sakura's train of thought was cut off. He was shocked and exclaimed, "Huh? Why me?" The fact that he was caught off guard meant that he was starting to feel negative and angry. 5. Living under the shadow of terror. Prolonged feelings of fear, worthlessness, and helplessness. These were all displayed when Kotoha told Sakura that he couldn't become what he wanted to become, being the top dog of Furin, because he was alone. Sakura negatively reacted to this statement of hers, like very negatively, because everything must have hit him at this moment. As mentioned earlier, Sakura craved a feeling of worthiness by proving he was the best among the best. All his worthlessness and emptiness were hiding beneath a mask of pride and anger. There was also a moment in time when he felt helpless in a fight. This was when he felt like he was losing because he decided to protect someone in a fight. During that moment, he thought, "See, this is what happens when you help someone." Nonetheless, he still protected them. This shows that deep down, despite all the trauma, anger, and hurt, he still wanted to love and care for others. Something he was deprived of back in his old town. These 5 CPTSD truths are shown throughout Sakura Haruka's journey and Windbreaker. He teaches us about the real battles tied to trauma, hidden beneath the thrill of anime action. Do you relate to Sakura or any of these 5 CPTSD truths? Comment down below and share your thoughts. Also, do consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Here we talk about all things anime and we understand and value your input. By the way, If you're interested, we have 2 Shopee affiliate links for a Windbreaker t-shirt featuring Sakura Haruka by Basic Anime, and another Windbreaker shirt where you can choose a Windbreaker character by Tookxic Anime. Check it out in the description below. We will earn a little commission at no extra cost to you when you buy from the link. Through this, you will most definitely help us out so we can continue spreading mental health awareness through anime.